Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at 16745 Buckingham Drive here in Gladstone. We are located just to the right of the doorway. We have a 4-inch ABS cleanout as our point of access. We're going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. We just zeroed out the foot counter at the bottom of the cleanout. Those little stringy items at the top of the pipe there, those are just cobwebs. Those aren't roots coming through. Very prevalent stuff in sewer lines. And we're going to come back and take a look at this joint at the end. It's a little strange looking. The other joints I've gone around don't have that same debris deposit around the circumference of the pipe. That joint there almost looks like it, not necessarily gaping wide open, but it almost appears to be separated and allowing some dirt to come in from the outside. But we'll take a second look and see if we can't see other signs. And you'll notice as we go throughout here, there's also on the sidewalls of the pipe kind of a reddish color grease deposits that look very similar to that. And so I'm looking for multiple different things when I'm trying to tell if a joint is open. Like right here, you have similar stuff too. The top of the pipe has a very similar looking staining that that joint there a moment ago did. But ideally, we also see earthworms and other things like that that show us that the joint is truly open to the ground. The earthworms are the best evidence that you get, because there's no other way that worms get inside the sewer line except for burrowing their way through a pipe joint. And the line just transitioned a moment ago over to cast iron. Also appears to be 4-inch in diameter. Now the joints I'm talking about there, that one, it's not something that's affecting flow or functionality in the traditional sense, but if a joint is open to the ground, it's something that technically speaking, your joint should be watertight, and it's something I have to call out. And over time, if they pull enough dirt and groundwater in, they can hydro-erode the support from around the pipe and cause the line to settle. It's a slow, progressive thing, typically. And right here at 78 feet, we have reached the main lateral connection. Well, we're going to let the line drain out here for a couple minutes before reeling back in. We'll have a better look at everything at that point. But as far as flow goes, the line has good flow to the main. There's only one area with a little bit of standing water. It's not significant at all. So flow-wise, we're looking good here. We'll check get a better look at the condition of the sewer line when we come back, though. Alrighty, I have located the camera head successfully here, it appears. We'll pull back again just to double check the locate, but and the reason the line is as long as it is, it looks like the line crosses the entire road all the way to the opposite side. And the main is either right up against the street curb or just beyond it off to the side of the street, but again on the opposite side of the road. We'll pull back here about 10 feet and just go relocate, make sure we see the signal moving. So the cast iron here does have some scale build up in it, and I'm not seeing much in the way of debris collecting or evidence of blockages. And scale doesn't always do that. Scale becomes an issue, especially when you're putting items down the line that shouldn't be going down there, like paper towels and tampons and flushable wipes. That scale becomes kind of jagged and tends to snag those items, and then those items don't break down on their own like toilet paper does. So you really want to make sure you're not putting stuff like that down the line. But the scale is fairly minimal, and I don't see any buildup associated with it. And I don't recommend descaling cast iron unless it's necessary, because you can sometimes end up with a worse situation than you did before if you cannot get all the rust bits out of the sewer line. And yeah, the line definitely goes to the far side of the roadway. The locate I'm getting is so close to the curb, though, I can't tell if the main's actually under the road or just to the side of it, kind of in the curb strip. Either way, it's on that side of the road. Now, what's nice about this sewer line is the entire thing is 4-inch pipe, which is advantageous because this cast iron, it will not last forever. Like anything, it wears out over time. But because you have 4-inch pipe right out of the gate here, when that day does come, you can trenchlessly update this by epoxy liner. And that's down the road a ways. That's not tomorrow, even a year from now. This cast iron looks like it still has quite a lot of life left in it. And overall, the cast iron looks like it's in good condition. Most of the scale I saw was towards the very end of the sewer line, which is where you want it, if you're going to have any of it. Our cast iron looks like it's in good shape, drains nicely. Got a teeny tiny bit of standing water right here just before the transition. In the world of bellies, this is like a 0 to 1 out of 10 on the severity scale. It's teeny tiny. So it extends here to the transition, dissipates out at 37 feet. And at its worst point here, right at the turn, you have a ½ inch of water. My camera's bent in the pipe. That may not even be accurate because my camera's kind of being bent around that corner there. The majority of it is 1/4 of an inch for about 2 feet. Well, that's not a belly I'd recommend repairing in a million years. And the only stuff that'll hang up in a belly that small is if you're putting lots of stuff down the line that shouldn't be going down there, or putting grease down the pipe, grease, fats, oils. They like to collect at standing water. The oil hits that, hardens up, and then sticks to the pipe walls. That and the distances from the home. But even if that belly were right up against the foundation wall, I wouldn't recommend it be repaired. Bellies become concerning when they're really close to the house and when you have a significant amount of standing water. Inches of water for 5-10 feet at minimum. Okay, we're back to this joint here. Again, you've got, what caught my eye is that there's red staining around the joint. Generally, if a pipe joint is open, though, you're going to have a couple things going on. You're going to have typically dirt clods literally sticking out of the pipe joint, and all of them will be at the top of the pipe where the water doesn't hit it. We have no dirt sticking out of that joint. I have not seen a single earthworm in the sewer line. And if a joint is open and it's been open for an extended period of time, both of those things will typically be occurring. So I think this just looks like happenstance here that the debris has deposited. Because when I pull back here, that debris around that joint is very similar to the stuff you're seeing at the top of the pipe right now. It's kind of a reddish-brown color. But I'm not seeing enough there to even tell. It was just that staining was right at that joint, and that's what caught my eye originally. But again here, if you look at the top of the pipe, that stuff up there, which by and large is probably just grease and mildew, is the exact same color as that stuff around that joint. So that does not appear to be open to the ground. And similar here, same color stuff at the top of the pipe, which has nothing to do with the joint. And someone just turned some water on inside. That is not standing water you're seeing there. That's all flowing. All right, we're going to flip the camera around here for just a moment. But everything from the clean-out access to the main lateral connection appears to be in good condition, has good flow and is functioning properly at this time. And so right there is where we enter into the crawl space. And that little bit of pipe going back toward the home is also in good condition. Now the exterior sewer pipe here that we've scoped today all appears to be in good shape and is functioning properly at this time.